Welcome to A Student of Leadership, a micro-podcast where leaders are made one habit at a time. Hosted by Rob Adams, a leadership veteran with 30 years of experience, this podcast explores key concepts that define exceptional leadership. Each episode delves into a powerful word or strategy, offering practical insights and real-world stories. Whether you're just starting out or an experienced executive, join Rob as he guides you in learning, growing, and leading with purpose.
Hello, my fellow listeners and new people to the leadership community. Welcome back to A Student of Leadership powered by Unipro Food Service and our Leadership Development Program. I'm Robert Adams, your micro podcast host. This is episode 52, and today we're going to be talking about the leadership gap. That's the space between what we intend as leaders and what people actually experience with us. Let me start out with something that catches most leaders off guard. Almost every leader I know has great intentions, good intentions, with sincerity. They want to support their teams. They want to challenge them to grow. They want to do the right thing. And yet, trust still breaks. Engagement drops. Feedback doesn't land the way it was meant to. That gap rarely comes from bad motives. It comes from unexamined behavior. Now, I'd love for you to pull up a chair today because you are at the leadership table. Food brings people together. Leadership keeps them together. Real leaders, real growth, one table. Now, one of the clearest examples of this gap comes from the Google Project Aristotle. Google spent years studying hundreds of teams to understand why some consistently outperformed others. They looked at talent. They looked at experience. They looked at education and intelligence. None of it explained the difference. What mattered most was something much far simpler. Did people feel safe speaking up? What surprised the researchers was this. Most leaders believed they were supportive. They intended to create openness. But teams experienced interruptions, rushed responses, and silence after their ideas were shared. Same intention, very different impact. Now that's the leadership gap we're talking about here today. And here's the myth we need to let go of. If my intent is good, my impact will be fine. You see, leadership doesn't work that way. Leadership is a lived experience. It's measured by how it feels to work with you, not how you see yourself. And here's a simple way to think about it. Intent lives in your head. Impact lives in someone else's nervous system. When people feel dismissed, rushed, or corrected too quickly, even unintentionally, the brain shifts immediately into protection mode. They stop offering ideas. They play it safe. Trust erodes quietly. And this is why trust is built or lost so quickly, especially in the first few months of leadership. It's not what you say, it's the behaviors people experience consistently with you. Now, my good friend Marshall Goldsmith, one of the best executive coaches in the world, reminds us that leadership is not about who we are, it's about what people experience when they're around us. Now, that's a hard truth and a freeing one. So let me ask you a few questions to sit with today. What do you hope people experience when they work with you? And what might they actually experience when pressure is high or time is short? Where might the gap be between your intentions and your impact be costing you trust without you even realizing it? Now, as always, we have that weekly challenge, and this one is about awareness, not fixing. At the end of each day, ask yourself one simple question. How did I likely land today? Not my productivity, not how much you got done, how it probably felt to be on the other side of you. How did the other person see it? How did they feel it? That single question builds self-awareness faster than almost anything else you could do. Now, as always, if this episode 52 resonated, you're not alone, and you don't have to figure this out by yourself. That's why we always gather at the leadership table. This is a community. Because food gave us roots. Leadership always gives us purpose. Real leaders, real growth. And that's right, one table. Before we close out today's episode, here's how we stay connected throughout the week. On Mondays, the leadership table lands on Beehive, where we explore the behaviors that build trust early and sustain it over time. On Wednesdays, the Breaking Bread, a Student of Leadership newsletter, shows up on LinkedIn, where leadership meets real stories and real conversations. And on Fridays, the Mindful Leader arrives on Substack, a reflective pause to help you notice the gap between intention and impact without judgment. All different spaces, same leadership journey, always at one table. And before you go, let me leave you with this. Next time, we're going to talk about how just a few seconds of feedback delivered at the right moment can either strengthen trust or quietly undo it. That's where we're headed. This is Rob Adams, your micro podcast host. I'll see you next time at the table. Take care, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of The Student of Leadership. Leadership is about who we become and how we help others grow. If you found value in this podcast, share it with a fellow leader and connect with Rob on LinkedIn or leave a review. New episodes drop weekly, so don't forget to subscribe to stay connected. Until next time, keep learning, growing, and leading with intention. Remember, great leaders are made one habit at a time. See you next time on A Student of Leadership.